Go make yourself a drink and I'll be down in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Out of town, whatever, we don't give a fuck. The deal is done, now the cake been baked. They need to come on with the drum or whatever they gonna do.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Mac Daddy Seminar. I'm your host, Taylor Dunn, and we have a lot to talk about this episode, so let's get this thing rolling. First off, Halloween is officially done, and it is Monday, November 5th, which means Walmart is in full-blown fucking Christmas mode. Yeah. They've already started putting out stuff. I said something about this on Facebook about a month or so ago. It was like October 8th, and I started seeing it a little bit before then, but October 8th, they had already started putting out the like the inflatable Santas and like the blow up snowmen and shit like that. And it's October 8th. Okay. Look, I already don't really like Christmas because it's too much of the same thing every year. It's the same songs. It's the same decorations, same colors, like nothing ever changes. Like some people will argue and say, okay, Halloween is, no. New scary movies come out for Halloween. You can dress up as something different that you saw in a movie, you know, like last year it was from The Clown, right? And like this year it's like the fucking moth with the lamp and shit like that. You know, that's Halloween because it changes every so often. But Christmas is the same shit every single year. Oh, you don't want to sit and watch A Christmas Story on repeat on ABC Family, or what's it called now? Freeform? No! I don't want to watch that. And the decorations are coming out way too early now. It's like, oh, well, we could go ahead and buy our Christmas tree in July because that's when Walmart is the worst one to do it. And I'm not going to knock Walmart, okay? That's one of my favorite stores. But come on. The Christmas shit doesn't need to come out until after Thanksgiving. Like, you can get all that shit ready and prepared, but every time I go to Walmart, I have to look at Christmas decorations. And I'm just like, what the hell? We haven't even taken down our Halloween stuff, even though we really didn't decorate for Halloween. But still, you know, like, let me enjoy one holiday, have a little break before I get into another one, okay? Because putting up Christmas shit that early is ridiculous. But yeah, so it's the month of November, and I keep seeing a lot of stuff about 2 different, like, challenges. One has been around for a long time, and that's No Shave November, or Movember, for the guys that like to rock the mustache. And I didn't know this, but it actually has a pretty good cause, and that's to, raise men's awareness for things like prostate cancer, testicular cancer, things like that. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, it's a way of like showing support for the cause. Men grow out their facial hair or, you know, grow out mustaches and whatnot. Now there's another challenge that seems to be fairly new, and I want to know right now what the cause of this is. It's this thing called No Nut November. And apparently the rule is that a man cannot ejaculate, bust a nut at all for an entire month. This means no masturbation, no intercourse. And I don't understand what the benefit of... Is it just to see if you can last that long? I don't get what the appeal of doing this is. Like, I saw some post the other day where this girl was like, it was this long post, and she was like, yeah, I went out with this guy, and we've been talking, and we've, gone out a couple times. Well, the other night was the first time he ever came back to my place. So, we like got in the shower and we started messing around, and I was, I was like, well, we can't really do anything in the shower because it's too small, but I can, go down on you if you want me to. And he's like, no, that's okay. So she thought this was weird, and I'm probably fucking this story all up, but I'm going to get the point across. Anyway, so they get out of the shower and they get in the bed, and she's like, well, is there anything you want to do? And he's like, no, I just really want to finish the movie. And he wakes up the next morning and leaves. So the girl, of course, is like worried and shit. And she texts him and she's like, did I do something wrong? Like, what's going on? And he's like, have you ever heard of No Nut November? And I'm reading this and I'm like, you've got to be fucking with me. This dude, like, I get it. If you want to be celibate and wait till marriage, whatever, if that's your cup of tea, drink it. That's cool. Okay? But for an internet challenge, what are you doing, my man? Come on. That's weird. I don't get the appeal of it. All these internet challenges, like, everybody's so fucking weird now. Like, when they did the planking thing, that was kind of funny. But, like, now it's like, oh, it's the Kiki challenge or the In My Feelings challenge where they get outside the car and dance and shit. And, like, people were getting hit by cars because, if I get out of a moving car on the road, that's probably what's gonna happen. Right? It's so fucking stupid. People will do anything to get views. And it's so stupid, the shit that goes viral. Like, for example, I made a post, a stupid one, about Red Dead Redemption 2. And literally it was, wife, : don't tell me you stayed up all night playing that stupid cowboy game. And then it says me with a colon, and it's literally Rodney Carrington, or he's a fucking funny country singer for those of you that don't know who that is. But anyway, it's just a guy with a cowboy hat on, smiling with a cup of coffee in his hand. And it's at 15,000 shares right now on Facebook. It has so many shares that my phone is constantly hot from all the notifications. It's ridiculous. Like, I thought about deleting it just because I'm like, no, that it's not funny enough to keep it up. But people seem to enjoy it. And that's what pisses me off, is that I will work really hard, making a funny ass video, or like working on a meme that I think, okay, this is going to be the one. This is going to be funny. And then sure enough, I get like 4 likes on it. Or I could go do stand-up in a theater with, 800 people there and take pictures or post a video. I'll get 20 likes. But a meme about a dumbass cowboy game. Look, and I'm not knocking it. You know what I said in the last episode, and that shit still is standing. I love that game. I need to stop playing it so much because it's taken over my life. But yeah, but this weekend, I'll have a chance to get out a little bit. This upcoming weekend, I'm going to be in Atlanta for Crystalia's Follow the Leader tour. At the Tabernacle. I'm really excited for it. Crystalia is one of my favorite comics right now. And his podcast, Congratulations, what kind of inspired me to create my own podcast. I just thought it was hilarious. To be honest with you, and I'm not knocking the guy, because I love anybody that, is into the craft as I am. But he definitely his podcast is funnier than his stand-up to me. If you think he is funny for his stand-up, I'm telling you right now, go check out his podcast. You will not be disappointed. It is hilarious. But yeah, that's where I'll be this weekend. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But as far as my podcast is concerned, I've had a couple of people, approach me and be like, "Oh, are you kind of bummed out that you didn't get, that many listeners on the Mac Daddy seminar first episode?" Like, no, look, let me be clear about this, and I'm going to say this once and for all. This is not me trying to get a bunch of views and get YouTube famous. Now, if that happens, that would be cool, right? But that's not really what this is for. This is more of a way for me to do what I love to do, which is entertain people, while at the same time, this is almost like a diary. Like, this is a way for me to work on my stand-up. I'm able to take what happens throughout the week, write it down, and then I just talk about it. I just talk a little bit of shit. Because I've figured out through doing stand-up that when I sit down and write a joke, it's usually not as funny as something that just comes right out of the top of my head when I'm talking. And for those of you that don't know, let me explain something about stand-up. It's not just a dude standing up there and talking. It is a methodically thought out piece, right? It is a work of art, essentially. And it takes sometimes years to perfect a body of work to film a special. Like, I've been working on just a 30-minute set, a solid 30 minutes, for probably about 2 years now. And it's difficult because stuff, over time deteriorates. I might make a joke about Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap's really not that relevant anymore. So, I might change it to Cardi B or, something like that. I saw that in Chris Rock's special because I saw him in like March, and then I saw his special that came out almost a year later. If he used jokes about Fetty Wap in there, it really wouldn't be as relevant. So you got to keep everything kind of fresh. But what do I know? I'm just a regular fucking dude that does stand up. I'm not famous or anything, but I do spend a lot of my time watching it and paying attention to it, and that's what I've concocted. So, whatever. But yeah. What else did I do this weekend? Let me think. I watched holy shit. I watched Interview with a Vampire. Okay. I feel like it's a pretty popular movie, Interview with a Vampire, but it came out in 1994. Of course, it has Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Kirsten Dunst when she's like really young, right? It's a pretty good movie. It's on there still from the shit that, Netflix uploaded throughout Halloween. But I'm watching this movie, and it's been a really long time since I've seen it. And the scene where I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I'm going to assume, since it's almost 25 years old, that most of you have. The scene where Brad Pitt walks in on Kirsten Dunst, and she's like crying next to her mom's dead body. It's like a really sad scene because her mom got the plague and she died, and like the little girl's not, like, she's trying to like not accept it or whatever. And then Brad Pitt bites her because he's a new vampire and he's trying to like resist the urge to drink human blood. But, he just gave in and bites this little girl. And right then is when Tom Cruise busts up in there and he starts giving him shit for it. And he's like, "I thought you weren't going to eat humans." Like, "Oh, this is a cause of a celebration," because he's been trying to get him just to drink human blood this entire time. What happened next is hands down probably one of the top 5 funniest fucking scenes in a movie of all time. He walks over to the little girl's mom, her dead body, and picks it up and dances around the room. Okay? And it is and he's like, and he like dips her back and he's like, there's still life in the old lady yet. I was screaming, crying on my couch. Like kicking the sofa cushions, red in the face. I was laughing so hard, like sound wasn't even coming out anymore. That's how hard I was laughing. And it just killed me. My wife, every time some shit like that happens, my wife's just like, there's something wrong with you. She looks at me and she's like, you are insane and you need help. Realistically. And I don't, you know? Has anybody seen that Bohemian Rhapsody movie? It looks so good. I want to go see it so bad. I'll probably go see it next weekend, probably like Sunday or something after I get back from Atlanta. But it looks so good. Like, I feel like that's the key in Hollywood to getting an Oscar. Like, you have to play someone in a biopic. You either have to have AIDS, you have to have cancer, you have to have some type of illness. So playing someone in a biopic like Freddie Mercury who had AIDS, like I feel like the guy that's playing him, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, but like Rami Malek, I think it is. He's in like Mr. Robot, and I think he was in some of the fucking Twilight movies and like Night at the Museum, whatever. He's Freddie Mercury in this, the lead singer of Queen, which the movie is about. And I feel like, you know, he's like, okay, I'm ready to win an Oscar now. And so that's the part you take. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if I was an actor, I'm going to be in some real easy shit to make a little bit of money when I first start out. Whatever will take me, honestly. But then when it's like, okay, I've made my money, then I'm going for a straight Oscar push. I'm not going to be anything too weird like Joaquin Phoenix. He's one of my favorite actors, of course, but I'm not going to be anything too weird because I watched that movie Inherent Vices. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. The entire movie, I had no clue what was happening. But, what the fuck am I talking about? Bohemian Rhapsody. But yeah, okay, so if I was going to be in something to win an Oscar, I would probably say I would be in like the remake of Training Day. And no, I would not be the junior cop. Oh no. No. I'm gonna be Detective Alonzo Harris. Yeah. Imagine how pissed off Denzel Washington would be if I played Alonzo Harris in the remake and I won an Academy Award for it as a white dude. Like, they didn't put makeup on me or anything like that. They were like, oh yeah, that's Detective Alonzo Harris. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Alonzo Harris is a black dude. And they just cast me in the role. And I won an Academy Award for it. And it was pretty much the exact same as the original Training Day. How pissed off do you think everyone would be? I couldn't think of a character I would want to play more than Alonzo Harris in that movie. He is the baddest motherfucker of all time. King Kong ain't got shit on me. That's my favorite shit ever. Some of the slick shit that he says, I try to work in my everyday conversation. Just because I think it sounds good, you know? Like, he's like, He says some shit. Goddamn, I always do this. It's one of the slickest things he says. He's like, he asks him if he's got a dick. And he's like, okay, on either side of that dick, you got 2 legs, right? On them legs, you wearing some pants. Now reach in the pocket in them pants, pull out some money, and pay the bill. And he smacks his hand down on the table right before he goes and gets in the car. And then, right after that, he's like, follow me to my office. And he's like, yeah, how far away is your office? He's like, you're in the office, baby. And he rides off in the Monte Carlo. That's the hardest part of the movie right there. With a cigarette in his mouth. Oh my goodness. God, that movie is so good. Every once in a while, I'll watch something and it will be so good. I'm like, oh my God, that was such a good movie. I think the last thing that I saw and I was like, holy shit, that was good, was the It remake. I could not believe how I went into it thinking this is going to suck. But I liked the first one enough to where I was like, you know what, we'll give this a shot. And me and my wife walked out of that theater and we were like, holy shit, that was really good. It gave me nightmares. You know, like I said in the last episode, how if I watch something scary, you know, it'll freak me out to the point where I can't sleep at night because I'm a bitch. But yeah, I was freaked out. When that scene where he comes out of that fucking projector, and he's got them big ass razor sharp teeth. No, son. No, I about shit in the movie theater when that happened. That scared the hell out of me. Oh, man. That movie was so good. What else happened? I watched the Alabama LSU game, thinking that, you know, listen, I'm from Alabama, okay? That is a fact. I love college football. And unfortunately, this season at least, I'm an Auburn fan. Okay? Yes, I know. It is unfortunate, but still at the end of the day, War Eagle. Because they're still my team, and I still support them, but damn, they really have shit the bed this season. Starting out at like number 8 and then dropping that far is, to be honest with you, pretty much unacceptable. Losing to Tennessee, no. I'm sorry. You know, maybe I should have lower standards, but because my rival, Alabama, is literally a tank of a team. Look, I wanted to bet that LSU would beat Bama. Okay, I wanted to. Because sports betting is now legal here in Mississippi. I wanted to put some money on Bama to lose. You know, I didn't think it'd be by a lot, and I knew LSU would have to play one of the best games they've ever played to beat them, but I wanted to bet some money on them, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm glad I didn't, because Alabama embarrassed them boys. Okay? That was pretty bad. They blew them out at home. In Death Valley, they blew them out. Because the whole team is just a juggernaut. Their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, or how, I'm sure I fucked that all up. But you know who I'm talking about. Their quarterback will go in the first round of the NFL. Nick Saban is just a breeding ground for greatness. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought about something over the weekend. I think Nick Saban might be a warlock, man. Now, I'm not saying a wizard, but I think Nick Saban may be a warlock. Okay? Because, first of all, number one, his birthday is October 31st. Okay? That if you told me your birth date was any other day, I'd have my doubts. But October 31st, you pretty much run a perfect program at this school. every year. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe he's just over on the sidelines and he's like, you know, got his little play chart thing covering his mouth, and he's like saying incantations and like shit. And that's what makes Tua throw the ball so straight. What if he's over there like, and touchdown, you know? Every single game. Like, okay, well, LSU is a pretty good opponent, so I'm gonna keep the score minimum at 29 points, but they're not gonna score anything. What if that comes out in like 20 years? That they find out that magic is real and Nick Saban was using magic the entire time. And they revoke all of their national championships while he was the coach. Wouldn't that be some shit? Like, oh, we don't worry about, okay, who was being sexually assaulted anymore. Now we're worried about people that were using magic to get ahead. You know? Like, oh, well, we have to take away Tom Brady's Super Bowl rings now, because it turns out he was a warlock. We have to take away Meryl Streep's Academy Awards because it turns out she was a witch. Have to take them away because she was using magic. Dude, I was thinking about this just a couple of weeks ago. I was at this place for lunch with my wife and daughter, and this girl came up to us, was our waitress. And first of all, let me go ahead and say this. She wasn't a bad-looking girl, okay? She was a very pretty girl. But with that said, she had black lipstick on. And I don't know why this bothered me so much, but all I could think was, is this girl like a witch? Because she hit everything that I think a witch would look like now. Like a modern-day witch. Like black lipstick. She had on like some hipster glasses. And that was really all that she had. But, I mean, you can hit so many other cues for this to be like, are you a witch? Like, if you are a girl and you have black lipstick, you're wearing glasses, you have dark eyeliner, you smoke cigarettes, and you're listening to Fleetwood Mac. That's the number one. If you're listening to Fleetwood Mac now, hey, do you fuck with the craft? I should have asked that waitress that. I should have leaned in and been like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm not trying to be too forward here, but do you fuck with the craft? And she would have been like, what? The craft. Are you a witch? Do you fuck with some witchcraft? Because look, I watched that Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is supposed to be like the evil spinoff of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch that show, you may be a witch. Because that whole show is just a big old Satan fest. I had to stop watching it. It's too evil, man. I don't want all that evil in my house. That's ridiculous. I can't deal with all that shit, man. That's way too much. Way too much evil for me. I can't do it. Every other scene, it's praise Satan and all this evil shit. Satan's in every episode. The devil is in every episode of that show. I'm just sitting here trying to watch a show with my family, man. I'm not trying to summon a demon in my house. You know? I can't deal with that. Any girl that's listening to Fleetwood Mac and has black lipstick, I guarantee you, she sits at home, plays with a Ouija board, and she probably has seen every single episode of American Horror Story. I guarantee you. And she fucks with the craft. I guarantee it. She probably has crystals that she thinks that she gets energy from. She probably, burns like sage and shit in her room. Look, I know that could be some of you listening to this, but hey, I want to know, do you fuck with the craft? Because just at least show me how to do something cool, okay? I don't want to have to like write my name in the Book of the Beast or anything like that just to do a couple of magic tricks. But if you can show me how to do some Harry Potter shit, I would be all right with it. Like, just show me how to like move something without touching it, you know? Some telekinesis. Because that would make every aspect of my life just that much easier. Like, oh, will you grab the remote? Catch it. Oh, there you go. You know? It'd be kind of cool to set shit on fire, too. Like, if I could do, like, pyrokinesis and stuff. Like, I'm not going as far as, like, necromancy and, like, bringing shit back from the dead. Like, no, miss me with that. But if I could do just a little bit of magic, I'd be cool with it. So we got our first question. We got one. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap this up after this because this is going a little bit longer than I anticipated. So Keegan asks, what does the modern cuck look like, and what's the worst cuckery you've ever seen? Okay, I appreciate your question, Keegan. Okay, so first off, let's explain what cuck is. It's a new insult. Okay, it's been around for a long time. Cuck is short for cuckold. Okay, if you know what that means, cool. But for those of you that don't, a cuckold is where a man gets pleasure from watching his wife or partner engage in intercourse with another person. Cool. A cuck is basically this same thing, and basically the guy's just a bitch. Like, the girl treats him poorly, so that would make him a cuck. Look, if you take offense to it, I'm sorry, but me and my friends call each other cuck probably 45 times a day. I have one of my best friends, literally, he called me this morning, and I said, what's going on, cuck? We say it to each other all the time. It's funny. We laugh about it. Anyway, with that being said, what does a modern cuck look like? That's hard to say because anybody can be a cuck. Okay? It's not broken down into, looks or anything like that. I don't know what one looks like. It all is based off of how you act. But what is the worst case of cuckery I've ever seen? So I thought about this one, and I'd have to say, so when I was in high school, there was this girl, and she was decent looking. I won't say she was like a Maxim model or anything, but she was pretty. And she had two boyfriends, okay? One of them knew about the other guy. And he was cool with it because, he didn't, take her out to eat. He wasn't public with her, okay? He was just like, whatever. And he did what it do with her, okay? He did the hippity-dippity, okay? That was it. The other one was head over heels in love with this chick, right? Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt sorry for the guy because he cared about her. Like, he brought her flowers and, like, held her hand and took her out to eat and all this stuff. And she told this dude that she loved him. She told both of them that she loved him. Right? But the other one, treated her a little bit better. Okay? But the thing is, people would tell this guy, like, hey, she's banging old dude, right? He's like, that's not true. There's no way that's true. Like, she really didn't even hide it that well. And, like, everyone knew, But he he had to have known. He just didn't care because he was a cuck. So I hope that answers your question, Keegan. I appreciate that. And hey, send me your questions, guys. Like, I want to answer these, okay? If it's not good, I'm not going to answer it. So put a little bit of effort into it, okay? But hey, that pretty much wraps this one up. I appreciate everybody listening. Send me your questions to my Facebook or my Instagram. It doesn't matter to me. And also, if you're I don't care about the No Nut November thing, but if you are participating in No Shave November, take a picture of your mustache or whatever you got going on and send it to the hashtag MacDaddySeminar. It's spelled just like it sounds. And just send it to me on Instagram and be on the lookout for an episode next week. I appreciate everybody listening and have a good week.